Welcome! Today, we're diving into something I like to call the never-ending upgrade. We're going to talk about how AI is becoming this absolutely essential partner for any company that really wants to get ahead and stay ahead. So let's jump right in. It's the million-dollar question, right? How do the best companies on the planet manage to stay on top? It's actually not about one single massive breakthrough. No, it's something way more ingrained in their DNA. That's the secret. They have a culture of non-stop, relentless improvement. They're always tweaking, always refining, always getting a little bit better. But here's the catch. In today's world, where we're just drowning in data, the old ways of doing things just can't keep up. A powerful new partner has officially entered the chat. Okay, so first things first. To really get why AI is such a game changer, we have to understand the game itself. And that game is called continuous improvement. So what are we really talking about here? Well, continuous improvement is just this simple, powerful idea of making small, ongoing tweaks to get better over time. You might have heard of things like Kaizen, the philosophy that made Toyota a powerhouse. Now, the classic challenge has always been figuring out where to make those little changes. But today, that challenge is on a whole other level, because you're trying to find those little insights buried in absolute mountains of data. And this is where our new partner, AI, steps onto the stage. Look, AI isn't here to replace the human desire to get better. It's here to supercharge it. We're moving from a world that's human-led to one that's machine-augmented. And just look at the difference here. This table really says it all. Instead of waiting for a quarterly report to react to a problem, AI lets you be proactive in real time. Instead of one team trying to improve one little silo, it's automated across the entire system. But honestly, the biggest leap is that last one, insight. We're going from what a person can physically see and observe to uncovering these deep, hidden patterns in the data that no human could ever spot on their own. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what does this actually look like out in the wild? Let's get into some real-world examples of how AI is driving these improvements right here, right now. First up, predictive maintenance. So picture this. Instead of just waiting for a critical machine on your factory floor to break down and bring everything to a screeching halt, AI is constantly analyzing data from its sensors to predict a failure before it happens. This lets you fix things on your own schedule, saving a ton of time and money. And the impact? It's not small. We're seeing companies slash their machine downtime by up to 30%. I mean, just think about that. That's a huge boost in efficiency just from being smarter about repairs. Next up, something everyone cares about, quality. In manufacturing, you can use AI-powered cameras. It's a technology called computer vision to inspect products on an assembly line with, frankly, superhuman precision. They can spot tiny defects that the human eye would just miss every time. And just look at this chart. The difference is staggering. Even a highly trained human inspector tops out at around 70% accuracy. The AI system, it can get up to 97%. That massive gap means less waste, fewer returns, and way happier customers. Okay, for our last example, let's move from the factory to the supply chain. AI can sift through massive amounts of data, past sales, market trends, even what people are saying on social media, to get scarily good at predicting what customers are going to want to buy next. This helps businesses stock their shelves perfectly. And the power here is just incredible. AI can cut forecasting errors by as much as 50%. What that really means is you're solving two of the most expensive problems in business: having your cash tied up in products nobody wants, and losing out on sales because your most popular item is suddenly out of stock. So the potential here is obviously enormous. But let's be real. It's really important to have a balanced view. Bringing AI into your operations is a journey, and that journey has both incredible promise and some pretty serious pitfalls you need to watch out for. The promise is huge, no doubt. It really all boils down to being smarter and faster. You get these massive gains in efficiency and quality, which saves a ton of money. But what's maybe even more important is that you free up your people from the boring, tedious stuff so they can focus on making bigger, better, data-driven decisions. That combo is what gives you a serious edge over the competition. But, and this is a big but, you can't just add AI and expect miracles. It's not a magic wand you can wave over your problems. There is some very real, very tricky challenges that you absolutely have to be ready for. The number one hurdle, and this probably won't surprise you, is your data. That old saying, garbage in, garbage out, is basically the golden rule of AI. If your data's a mess, your AI will be useless. But look at the other pitfalls. They're all human. Do you have the right skills on your team? Can you get people to embrace a new way of working? It's just as much a people problem as it is a tech problem. So, knowing the incredible promise and the tricky pitfalls, how does a company actually get started? Well, the good news is there's a practical playbook for building a successful strategy. Let's walk through it. Here's the key. Don't try to boil the ocean. You start small. Pick one clear, high-value problem and launch a small pilot project. But even before that, you have to get your data house in order. Once that foundation is solid, you build a team with people from IT, operations, and data science. You invest in training them, and you make sure that leadership is cheering them on every single step of the way. So what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple. AI isn't some far-off future technology anymore. It's here. And as this quote says, companies that drag their feet are just going to get left in the dust. The question is no longer if your company should adopt AI, but how quickly you can start building a smarter, faster, and more competitive future with it.